The following is brought to you by a generous donation from Canoe Place Inn and Cottages. Fine hospitality in Hampton Bays since 1697. More at canoeplace.com.
Hey, welcome to the show. That's Jim Turner, who is the master of cues and is now going to play us a little summer music. It's summer. That's why we've got the, if you're listening to this on the radio, we are wearing very fashionable sunglasses. Well, I'm wearing fashionable sunglasses. And Bridget LeRoy.
Mine was so fashionable.
I didn't realize you were in Pebbles Flintstone's Will.
Just for her glasses.
How would you describe those?
None of the Flintstone fortune, unfortunately,
Jason,
that they
now
made
we're
in the
on the
vitamin
fan.
industry, apparently.
That's Jim Turner in the background playing something summery that isn't close enough to anything real that they'll charge us for. And from a large hot box in the middle of nowhere, this is AirHamptons with Bridget and Bill, your 1 hour summer rental, and you are not getting that deposit back. Welcome to summer. We didn't think we'd make it. With this show is now
18 months.
I'm as stunned as you are.
We are all stunned.
Right. Our thanks to everyone at LTV, but also to the folks at WLIW and NPR and people who listen to us from Montauk to Manhattan.
Yes.
You couldn't actually do that, could you?
What?
You couldn't listen to us all the way from Montauk to Manhattan.
No, not quite, but I would say
Maybe
like
get to Manorville.
Melville.
From Melville.
From
Manorville to Melville.
No, Montauk to Melville.
All right.
Basically, and a little bit beyond, I think, but it starts going like that on the radio.
Speaking of Melville and Moby Dick and some other very famous motion pictures, how's that for a transition?
I'm so impressed.
We're talking summer movies.
Yeah.
We're talking new restaurants out in the Hamptons.
Yeah,
There
there's
are a
lots
lot of
going
new
on.
little pop-ups and
sure are.
some bloody coups that have taken place.
Oh, yeah. But we have some great guests, too. We have Genevieve Villaflor from Sag Harbor Cinema is joining us, talking
My
about the summer.
absolute favorite movie theater, maybe in the state of New York.
Have you been up to the Green Room?
I've been to the green room. I
Dude.
get mail there. They do a Monday night off season. This summer they won't be doing it, although they did one in July last year. They may do it, and that was outdoors. They have a trivia night.
And you love trivia night.
I love it till I come in third. It's really hard.
You are a poor loser,
I
aren't you?
am
You
very,
really are.
very
Well,
bad
we have that in
I
common.
contest all the time.
Yes,
No,
that wasn't. Yes, that's not what I meant to say.
Right.
You cut me off. And then we also have Matthew Kristan from Canoe Place.
Yeah.
He's going to come on and talk about what they have going on this
That's
summer.
been around since 1697.
Do you know when they did the rebuild, like in the 1920s? Eric, my husband's grandfather, was like the head foreman for that. For the rebuild.
He may have run into Duke Ellington, Babe Ruth. It does take rocket science because Albert Einstein used to stay there.
Wow.
Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that at all.
It's got steeped in history.
Well, they've done an amazing reboot of it. It's fantastic.
They just got electricity yesterday. And
That's not true. What about running water?
Well, that's coming next.
No, it's wonderful. It's great.
This
you
is
and I
their
have eaten
second
there.
summer. We've eaten
Yeah,
there. We
with
did an
the
Oscar event there.
Mrs. McCuddy and Mr.
Your
LeRoy.
husband?
His name is actually Mr. Johnson, but I call him the second Mr. LeRoy because I was married before.
Of course, we are joined also by Patrick McLaughlin.
Yeah, we are, and Haim Mizrahi, who has a show. Hello. His show on LTV has been on since 1986. He's done over 5,000 public access shows.
Wow.
I know.
And they say almost 14 people have seen it.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
I'm just, it's like talking about our show. Like it's got
Yeah,
giant
exactly. Don't throw stones.
Yeah, and so this is what's interesting too here
Yeah.
at LTV is like they've turned it into an art gallery.
Yeah, they have. And that's one of the reasons that Haim is going to be there because this show that he's done with Matt Rayner, who's a friend of mine, we've had him on this show as well.
Right.
He's quadriplegic. He was a commercial fisherman, and he did all this drone photography both before and after his tragedy. But he's this wonderful young man, and we have the show up at LTV right now. It's on for another week or so at LTV, so I hope people come and look at his work.
So this is the sights and the sounds of summer. And I always kid at the top of the show about where this actually is, but now that people have to come here to see artwork, we should explain that it's in Wainscott. Some GPS tells you to go to East Hampton.
Yeah.
And Waze takes you to Flanders. And
No, it does not.
You go to the Duck, and you have a lovely time there.
I love the duck. We need a duck in Wainscott.
Do not
Right?
do not try the pate. It is not. You would think there it would be good.
And we also have with us Jim Turner, our one-man band.
The sounds of summer from Jim Turner.
Thank you.
Jim, how's the summer going for you so far?
Crazy, baby.
Okay.
Wow, he's such a hep musician. He says things like "baby." Next thing you're going to be saying "far out, man."
That was great. We'll edit that out. Anyway,
We love you, Jim.
let's talk about the movies that are happening
Yes.
and introduce our first guest today.
Yes.
Because you mentioned her, and I love Sag Harbor Cinema, which almost went away.
Yes, it
had a
was
fire.
a huge fire in 2016.
Then, yeah,
December
and
of
that
2016.
fire, was that over protest at how uncomfortable the chairs were? I think it was. No, it was an accidental fire. It was a terrible.
But anyway, yeah. When did you start? When did you
Genevieve
join
Villaflor joins us. She's the executive director of the
of Sag Harbor Cinema? Welcome, Genevieve,
Wow.
which is my
Much.
mother's name. Are you a Jen?
To some people.
To some people, not to you, Bridget LeRoy, who I am.
She's also a
I
gift
just
bearer.
met.
She brought us
Oh
all
my
kinds
gosh,
of gifts that you
so
can't
much
see.
swag.
But we love swag. It's like going to the Oscars
This great
It's stuff for
bag.
summer.
with a candle.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you
Does the
so
candle,
much.
by the way, when you light this candle, it smells like hot buttered popcorn.
Oh, that would be so cool, but it doesn't. It smells like something much better. Ooh, it smells so good. And Hamptons
Get on
Hand Poured.
that. They should do that.
But Hamptons Hand Poured does these amazing candles. You know, Brittany Torres and her company. She's just wonderful. So she's a local.
So a little
local
later
gal.
on the show, we're going to do a thing called Go Rent or No. Should you go see a new movie this summer that's in theaters, which of course is what you would advocate for? Should you wait for it to stream, or have you no interest whatsoever? So let's talk about what you think the highlights are this summer at Sag Harbor.
So, as I mentioned, our artistic director can't join me today, but she gave me her notes.
At this performance, the part of okay.
So go ahead, say her name. Julia.
Julia Daniela Valan.
Now, let me just say that if my grandfather or great grandfather was around, they would make her change her name to like Julia Lamb. So it would just be much easier.
Well, I
So,
do actually
old
have a friend
Hollywood.
who was Julia in the Italian spelling and
Yes.
then became Julia in the American spelling.
And no one knew unless they looked at it written down.
Exactly.
Because it
But
sounds
then all
exactly the same.
her parents called her the same thing.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. But anyway, so she gave you a list of stuff that.
Yeah, so
going on?
so you know, we are going to be coming off of wait, this is you're going to
We're talking about the summer. and
You're talking
so-
about June, right?
Yeah,
June, July. You can go beyond June, but yeah.
We just opened the Mad Max Furiosa.
Right.
Oh wow, yeah.
How's that doing? No, I'm kidding. We pre-taped the show, so we don't know. But that's expected to be one of the big
Yeah,
summer,
we're excited.
early summer blockbusters.
Absolutely. So we're
Yeah.
excited by that.
That's great.
And the Japanese director, Ryusuke Hamaguchi, that's the best I can do.
That's pretty good.
He,
For you to say.
Yes.
he actually has a new film called Evil Does Not Exist. And I don't know if you remember, but he also had Drive My Car,
Sure.
which I think won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
I don't know.
but
You're
I'm
looking
not
at me like I'm
100% sure.
going to say
Okay.
yes or no, and I just like I'm
Julia
just
would
like
know,
this
sadly
is a
I don't.
blank face. No, it's
But yeah,
great.
so some of the things that we have coming up over the summer is a Richard Linklater film, and that's called Hitman.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah, I
interesting
heard
thing
about
about Hitman is it was around for a long time. I think it premiered at Venice last year, and it got all this buzz, and it was Richard Linklater, and it's kind of a, I've only seen the trailer, but it's kind of a funny Hitman movie.
Yeah.
Like dry humor, not like fall down pratfall
Like
humor.
Gross Point Blank kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, dark and cool.
Right.
And edgy. And
Well, he's a great director, so I think we're all
But on the
excited to see
shelf,
this.
everybody thought that meant this wasn't going to be a good film. And now critics who've seen it are loving it.
Now, I think a lot of things were sort of maybe moved or pushed aside because of the strikes last year.
Right.
So maybe this is one of those situations, but I think that's good to hear, and we're all just absolutely
Can I
looking forward to
shift
it.
just a little bit? Because besides the first run movies, which you and I will also talk about, what other, like, do you have other kind of preservation things? Or like last year you did the Julie Andrews retrospective. Are you going to do something like that this
So
summer?
glad you asked. Actually, so last year
So
we
is Julie
did.
Andrews.
She's wonderful.
Which, by
She's
the
a big
way,
supporter
if you
of
don't
this
know, is okay.
That's my name drop jar. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, no, I think you mentioned preservation. We won't do that until November,
Right.
but that's something that we do every year, and I can't believe it. It's going to be our 4th edition. We're actually we just started our 3rd year of full-time programming. We're open 365 days a year. And so we've got films, we've got events, we've got all kinds of things, trivia night, as you mentioned, happening at the cinema. And one of the things that is coming up, and she started it actually already back in April. We have 100 years of Columbia Pictures. It's their 100-year anniversary. Last year it was Warner Brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
So all throughout the summer and maybe even into the fall, we're going to be showing Columbia films and honoring their 100-year anniversary. So in between all the big blockbusters and the first-run films, you can check out some of the Columbia Pictures that are coming
It is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde theater because they have the first run stuff and then they have a
cool
little upstairs theater.
Yeah, the art house stuff.
Where you can see a black and white 1969 Jewish mobster film, which was called
How
The
many
Plot
of those?
Against Harry.
What was it called?
The Plot Against Harry. Or the
Okay.
plot,
Yeah, that was a restored film.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just
So
like
cool.
otherwise you would have to see at home on TCM if they ever showed up, but they get lots of cool stuff like that, and they do a children's series too, which I assume you're going to do also.
Absolutely. We do a children's series every summer, and actually throughout the year, Saturday and Sunday, roughly around 11 a.m. in the morning. And, we have, this particular week, we have Young Sherlock Holmes
I love that movie. Oh my God.
from the 80s.
I love that
And
movie.
then-
That's one of my
yeah,
favorites.
and
I saw that it was 85, wasn't it? In Los Angeles, and I went to one of the previews.
Yeah.
It wasn't a premiere. And I just remember coming out. It was the first time this has ever happened. I got up when the credits were rolling,
Yeah.
and the ushers were standing at the door going, "Go back inside.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see
Yeah, the
what's
very
going to
end,
happen
'cause
at the very
there's a
end."
closer.
And this
There
was
is a
way
closer.
before Marvel started doing
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
those
yeah.
little teases at the
Yeah.
end. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I said to my friend, "What a cheap trick to get people to watch all the credits."
Right, but they did. They had
And
the
then there
closer.
was this
Don't
big
say what it
reveal at
was.
the end of Young Frank.
It has to do with yeah, I know, young Sherlock Holmes. But also, when you mentioned Columbia, that also reminded me, another old memory, is that some of the movies where the Columbia Pictures woman would like do something. So the first one I remember is Thank God It's Friday.
Oh,
Was
where
that-
she stepped
Yeah, she
out,
starts
yeah.
dancing, right? The Last Dance.
That's
And-
Joanna Langfield, by the way, the
It is?
critic. No, but it looks
No.
just like her. I used to yell that at
Oh my God,
screenings,
that's
and
why.
everybody would laugh.
And Men in Black, she has on the dark glasses.
right.
Those are, I love it when
Yeah,
they
for
do
years you
fun
couldn't
things.
screw with those logos.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the WB
Like MGM
logo
with
is
the little kitty from Mary Tyler Moore instead
right,
of, yeah.
right.
The big line.
So, okay.
So,
Okay.
Anyway, the Columbia films throughout the summer, and then one of the things she's actually putting together later in the summer is a film retrospective of Julian Schnabel's films. She's
Julia and Julian. Yeah, I know, right.
and Julie is our development director.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm
Lots
really,
of too many J's.
but she's organizing that.
I know you're a G, but still.
She's organizing that with Mr. Schnabel himself.
wonderful.
So, and we
Can we expect him to drop by and maybe
probably
do a Q&A?
But yeah, just like earlier in the spring here, we had James Hamilton come, and he's a photographer that lives here in East Hampton, worked for the Village Voice for a long time. We had an exhibit of his photographs, which were fantastic, on the third floor. And so we're making use of our exhibition space as well on the third floor. So some
Wow.
of
So it's just year round. So it's going to be a really busy summer for you guys.
and actually, and what's there now is an exhibition of what we're calling, it's curated by Bob Rubin, who lives here in Wainscott. So it's his collection of artifacts and all kinds of
Movie memorabilia?
Yeah,
Oh, how
from he's an incredible collector and curator. So he put together actually this exhibition, which you'll see on the third floor of the cinema.
So you find these hoarders, you go into their homes, and you say,
Say
let's
whatever you want.
take some
No,
of this
we're
out and
kidding.
bring it to us.
I mean, I will say that, James Hamilton, this is only the second exhibition he'd had
Wow.
of his photographs, and they're fantastic. There's like everybody from Maggie Chung to Alfred Hitchcock, so,
Wow, that's amazing.
There's amazing people out
I
here.
want to say, not to make this too much of a commercial with the Zag Harbor, but really this is what cinema should be doing in every
Well, especially when you have to
country,
preserve the
every
memory
town,
of stuff. Yeah.
Because fewer and fewer people are going to the theater.
Yeah.
And I know that that's upsetting to all the theater owners, large and small. And if they had some of the special things that you're doing, an easier trivia game, for example, or
Okay, well, I'll work on that one.
but,
Oh, he had to
but-
slip that in.
Gallery showings
No,
and
but-
stuff. I think that would help get people
I
more.
think for us, it's, we're about being here and the community. The building itself is so iconic with the Sag Harbor sign. Actually, if you'll notice, there's nowhere it says cinema. Some people think it's like the visitor center, and that kind of thing, and they come, oh, movies. But yeah,
That's smart. They wander in, you sell them a ticket and some popcorn.
they smell the popcorn.
Yeah.
No, but it's there's so many things around community, and we have such a rich population to pull from.
And you have your gala or your summer party coming up in August,
so
is
a
it?
couple big fundraisers for us is June 30th, we're having our casino night. It's the second one that we're having at the cinema. And we'll have poker tables, we'll have roulette wheels and stuff on the terrace and things like that. And that's on, I think, June 30th. Did I already say that?
Okay.
And then on August 17th is our big annual benefit at the Bridgehampton Tennis and Surf Club.
Great.
And it's our biggest fundraising event of the year, and right now, pretty soon we're going to open up to. Sorry, you'll have to edit that one out.
Right.
But we'll, the tickets are on our website.
Okay.
Because right now we have early bird, but.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just pick it up from then. Just
Yeah,
go to
and
our website.
You can
and
go
say
to
your
your
website.
Yeah, you can
So
go to the
what
website.
is
and order.
what? Yeah, I was going to say. I'm sorry. What is your website if people want to get tickets or find out more?
Yeah, it's sagharborcinema.org.
Okay, fantastic.
Easy.
Well, it's
A
wonderful.
501(c), so
Correct.
all your donations
We're all
are.
nonprofit
Every
and-
time you buy popcorn, you can take it as a tax deduction.
No, you cannot. Anyway, Genevieve Villaflor from the Sag Harbor Cinema, thank you so much for joining us. We're looking forward to coming and seeing all stuff this summer. What?
I'm going to see one of my favorite movies. I'm going to tip it a little. The great Yellowstone brains behind all of that, Kevin Costner, is
Yes.
coming out with 2 movies. So we'll explain a little more about that when you and I do our picks and pans of the summer.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, no,
'Cause,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Thank you, Genevieve.
Absolutely. And one of those will be at the cinema.
Ooh,
Right.
So,
something
yeah.
to look forward to. Thank you.
So I think we should do that. Wait, this is going to be an edit point. I'm really sorry. I think we should do that at the end. We should do this at the end as
Okay.
Bill. And now we should bring Matthew in.
Okay, so sorry, guys.
Do you want to do a pickup from that?
Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
Do you want to do a pickup from that? Because we're
Sorry.
going
Cue
to
me.
tease and bring.
Repeat that thing I just did, and you'll cue me when it starts.
Yeah, is that okay in the
Fine.
control room? They
Is there
hate it.
anyone? Sorry, guys. You can stop the camera.
Yeah, come on in and have a seat.
Come on in. Yeah.
So we'll just do a pickup and I'll tease. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, Zach.
And
Thanks.
you tell us when to start.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Thanks for our swag.
Yeah, I love the swag. Thank you so much.
What swag did you
I
bring?
feel so
No,
embarrassed. I have my pen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sour grapes. Thanks. Let us know when
You
you're
just
ready,
got to
guys.
give us a count in. Jody, where are you, buddy?
Give me one sec.
Yeah, we got to reset.
I'll take a cue. Thank you.
We don't.
A minute.
As long as they know the times and Jody knows the times, you don't have
Yeah.
to reset the. Oh, well, they stopped it. Okay, good.
Thanks,
Alright.
guys.
I'm ready if you guys are. I am also ready.
Thank
Way
you.
back. And in 3, 2, 1.
Our thanks to Genevieve Villaflor. She is the executive director at Sag Harbor Cinema. And it really is, they have the best sight, the best
it's
sound, the
wonderful.
best everything. It's like, I wish all theaters were that good, because then people would go to the movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, listen, we're going to talk now with someone else who's very busy this summer.
Matthew Kristan, who's the new GM at Canoe Place, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about Canoe Place. They're obviously one of our sponsors. We're
Yeah.
told about that part. But he's a great addition to this place because this is their second summer, their second season back after the major renovation. Matthew, welcome. He joins us here, but
Thanks,
we're lucky
Jim.
to have him because he's so busy down at Canoe Place.
Yeah.
But before he was at Canoe Place, he was running the Carlisle Hotel.
Oh my
which is
gosh, well, excuse
not
me.
strange to we'd be dropping money into the name dropping jar constantly.
Well, my grandfather used to stay at the Carlisle. The Carlisle or the St. Regis. Those were his two. So.
I worked at both.
Oh, did you?
Love that.
You're too
Matthew,
young.
welcome. Also the
Good
Four
morning.
Remember him.
Seasons.
Yes.
What are they
that's
going to
correct.
do with that building? That's been shuttered for a couple of
We're
years.
still waiting to see.
wow,
Talk about
yeah.
iconic New York. That one, fantastic. You walk into that lobby and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just your jaw drops.
That wasn't I Am Pay, but it was some. It was I Am Pay.
It
Okay.
was,
It was.
absolutely.
Sorry.
And that restaurant, so beautiful and big. The ceilings were so tall and was so light.
We used to smoke cigars in that bar. back when
Gross. So
you
it was
could.
you. You're the one that
I'm the
put me
re- I'm
off
the
my
reason I
food.
got- yeah.
Of course.
They say it's going to be condominiums, but that's not the point. The
No.
point is you're here now. That
Yes,
was a
I am.
big It was a big move, and we're happy to have you out.
It certainly was. 14 years in New York City.
Wow. Where were you before that?
I grew up in upstate New York.
Oh, yeah.
Upstate, depending on who you ask. Putnam County, New York.
Okay.
Went to school at Niagara University, and then have been in New York since 2010.
Always wanted to be an innkeeper. When your I don't know, parents, friends would come over and they were staying, would you greet them at the door and say,
Making
Yeah,
sure
really?
everybody had a drink. I had
Get a
my
bellboy.
I had my bar set up in the basement, serving drinks at like 7 or 8. I don't think that's legal.
In
but
sippy
making
cups?
sure, yes, making sure everybody was happy. So I think it was a logical transition to do this.
Wow, that's great.
And
how do you-
hospitality was an early application?
it was it. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was. I worked at restaurants in high school, pivoted over to hotels in college, and I've been working in hotels ever since, which has been great.
That's
What's
great.
the role of a general manager of a hotel, and how has it changed in the last 20 years?
That's a good question. The role of the general manager is to make sure that everybody who walks through that door, whether you're a guest, a paying guest, a visitor, or even your staff, is happy. Right? I think the shift in the last 20 years has probably been the emphasis on your team, your internal people, making sure that they're in a good place, because they're not going to be able to properly serve your guests if they don't feel like they have a voice, if they don't feel like they have some sort of participation in the business as a whole. So I would say that's probably the biggest trend, when it comes to your team, making sure that they're taken care of.
And do you think that that's different? Like, has I don't know, with Instagram and social media and all those people are
It's a
kind
great
of
point.
more.
Everyone's a critic.
Yeah, everyone's a critic, exactly. So has that changed, like in the last 14 years, how you run a hospitality
I
business?
don't think so, because you want anybody who walks through the door to be happy.
Oh,
Right?
I
It doesn't
agree.
matter if they're going to be
Right.
write a review or they're not going to.
Yeah.
For me, the goal is that everyone who walks out the door at the end of their experience had a great time.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I owned an inn in New Hampshire for 8 years,
wow.
the New London Inn, and did a total reno on it. And I had the Tavern on the Green team come up and train our wait staff. But one of the most important things I learned, and this might be kind of a turn toward the dark, but is that there's some people who come in that they're just coming in and they come in unhappy, and there's nothing you can do to try to make a guest happy if they're just coming in to complain. Which I'm not saying that's something that's going to happen at Canoe Place, but that is something. They do it about this show all the time, but you just have to learn.
Maybe you and your friends shouldn't go there. Maybe-
No, it's just something that you learn, and you can keep the smile on, you can do everything, but you don't. There's some people who just come in unhappy. It's really hard because you want to make everyone happy when
Of
you're in
course, but
hospitality.
every guest is different. All three of us are different around this table, right? So
No,
it,
we're exactly
you're the
the same
exact
person.
same.
We're like the
You
light
look a
and the
little
dark. We're
different.
like Anakin and Darth, and you have to guess which one is which. Anyway.
Yeah. But she brings up a good point, though, because you can cringe if you see somebody taking a picture of something in your hotel. You think, oh, this could be a very positive thing that's going to happen, or it could be. What's the craziest thing that anybody's ever asked you?
Oh, that's a great question.
Craziest thing that anyone's ever asked me.
Or they called down and they said, I want to talk to the
Yeah, so
manager. And
I worked at a hotel where an individual would only bathe in Fiji water. So
What?
If this individual was there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they would have thousands and thousands of dollars of bottled water on their bill simply because they refused to bathe in anything other than that.
Is this like a big movie star
Yeah,
kind
with
of person?
somebody famous?
You cannot say. Good for you.
You can't even say whether it was somebody
It was
famous
not
or
a movie star.
Okay.
all right.
Wow. Bathing in Fiji water. Not Avion. It had to be Fiji.
And at minibar prices, you cleaned up.
New York City
Cha-ching.
minibar prices. Yeah, I'm sure you stayed in the city. This isn't cheap. It's not like $1 a bottle.
Oh my
no?
God, that's amazing. I love that story.
But now you're at Canoe Place, which has also had some very, very famous people.
Certainly has.
We've talked about Duke Ellington on this show. We've talked about Einstein, I mentioned earlier.
Desi and Lucy, they were all there, but not recently.
No. You had last summer, though, in her one-woman show, Candace Bushnell, because she
Yes.
was on our show before she went out there. And this summer, we have some amazing people joining.
Yeah, tell us what's
Certainly
going on.
do. Jeff Goldblum's going to be visiting us, which is great. Me coming from the Carlisle, Jeff used to have a residency there, so now he's coming out east. Is fantastic.
What is he going to be doing? Is he doing like a night?
So he
like
has his
a
own
talk?
little mini orchestra, with music.
That he
It's
goes
gonna be
everywhere
great.
with.
Yeah,
Like restaurants
and they
no, no.
tour.
They play his theme
They
music as he
tour.
walks in. No.
They play the theme from Jurassic Park
Right,
over
exactly.
and over and over again.
Over and over. No, that's amazing. I didn't even know that. So he goes and he tours and he does.
Yes.
So he's going to bring his music to the East End, to
Yes,
Hampton Bays.
and it'll be fantastic. Music, Canoe Place, music is steeped in its history, and we wanted to do an ode to that. I mean, and it's received such great reviews, everything from big bands to single acts to acoustic sets. We've had tango, like Latin bands, and it's all pulled different types of people into the property, which is great. And it's allowing so many different types of people to see the property. There's still this preconceived concept, oh, CPI, that used to be a nightclub, it used to be this. So we're spending a lot of our focus trying to change that and welcoming people into our doors. And once they do walk into the front, into the lobby, and you've been there many times, it's just this wow, this is incredible.
Well, just I have been there. It is amazing. It is nothing like CPI. It is gorgeous. But just a little look into the past. I'm going to turn it over to Jim Turner. Jim, have you played at Canoe Place back in the day before the reno?
All over this place, everywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to contact you, but yeah, I played everything out of this place, from Schiavone's grocery store, to.
But Canoe
Guildhall.
Place you were
Yeah.
at?
Yeah, we're talking
with
about
the
Canoe
band.
Place.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
That's amazing.
And stop hitting our guests up for gigs. Talk to him after the show.
After the show, not on the air,
Well, I'll
Jim.
make a deal
How
with
many
you right
times?
now, actually. No.
You've got Stella Cole coming, the Django Festival All-Stars in partnership with the Hamptons Jazz Fest, and then a great series now you're doing called The Power of Telling a Story with Bonnie Levinson from the Moth series, where
love The
people
Moth.
it's sort of a TED Talk, but for people talking about their own lives
Yeah.
in the arts.
Well,
And-
it's storytelling. It
Right.
really is storytelling at its best. I have friends who've been on it as well, who've because they go around the country and do it. So she's going to be leading a Moth series.
That's an
there?
ongoing thing that's happening also once or twice this summer. Something always going on out there.
Always.
And some big changes in the kitchen that we can't specifically talk about, but just safe to say the great food there is about to get a little better.
Some exciting things to come. Can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be a really amazing summer at Canoe Place.
And the important thing also to mention beyond summer is that they're really there year-round. And there's
Yeah.
always something going on.
And that's important to us, right? I mean, we are a part of Hampton Bays, which is local community. We want to make sure that we open our doors to the locals as well, provide programming all year round, even in the cold. I moved here in February, which is a little bit of an eye-opening experience for me.
Sure.
But people want something to do year-round, so that's hugely important for us as well.
It
And
can't
they're
be that
working
big
on-
if you were brought up in Putnam County. It's kind of funny that you were this country boy and then you went to the city and now you kind of are returning to your roots, albeit on the East End, but
Yeah.
you're back in the country.
You're completely correct.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. I just spent the last weekend in New York City after being away for a few months, and I was just like, oh my goodness, everything's so loud. There's garbage. There's this. It's almost like sensory overload after
No, come
spending a
back
few
to
months.
us. Come
Yeah,
back.
don't worry.
Come back.
I'm back.
It's quiet
I'm back.
at Canoe
It is.
Place.
It's very nice.
Although the roof is going to get blown off this summer, it's great to have you, Matthew. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to
and
be here.
Welcome to the East End of Long Island.
Yes, and thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you during the summer on our other show,
Looking
Weekend
forward to it.
Live,
Yeah.
Hamptons edition. We'll have him on for that as well.
Thanks,
Thanks
Matthew.
for
Play
coming.
us out with a little Canoe Place, something you used to play there. Some acid rock or something. Because you were pretty sure Wait, Don't Tell Me was on now, you're listening to AirHamptons with Bridget and Bill. Wait, don't go. We have so much more to talk about in this show. And joining us as he does all the time is Patrick McLaughlin from Douglas Elliman.
Patrick, not Matthew McLaughlin.
Yeah, he just called me Matthew.
Yeah, you called you
I
Matthew,
did?
like
He
Matthew
did.
McConaughey,
Oh.
like Matthew Kirsten.
I just got you a new gig. You're now running Canoe Place.
Thank you, Jim
I'm
Turner.
gonna make sure my phone is on.
Yeah, please do.
Patrick is, of course, from hamptonschatter.com and
And .net.
And
.net.
.net.
Because he
HamptonsChatter.net and
spends on
.com.
GoDaddy, he bought both of them.
Woo!
I bought them all.
If you've been listening to the show, you know that a lot of things are happening this summer.
I do. And if you've read Hamptons Chatter, you know a lot of things are
Hey,
happening.
you have
right?
something about the restaurant. There's a
Yeah, I
restaurant
did something,
shakeup.
but apparently the New York Post did it, but I think they copied me. But that's just a story. But you know what's interesting about Young Sherlock Holmes? Great movie, by the way.
Oh, I
right?
love that.
First movie ever to have CGI in it.
Is that true?
Yeah, remember the glass stained window came to life?
Oh,
Okay,
kind of,
but
yeah.
that's considered the first.
That was considered the first time-
computer-generated image.
In a movie, in a major movie, yeah.
Well,
Isn't
where
that
else
cool?
would they be? Where else would there be a computer-generated image? I guess in a computer.
Yeah.
You're like, well, the first one in a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you
no,
know
like,
the first movie released on DVD?
The Fugitive?
No, it was.
That was the first
and the
one I
only
got.
reason I know this is because another version is coming out, or an updated
Right.
version of it is coming out.
Gone with the Wind.
Twister.
Twister.
Ah,
Oh, but you know what?
Twister.
That leads us into the discussion about
summer movies, yeah.
the summer
Yeah,
movies.
we're going to talk summer movies in a minute, but I want to.
By the way, you didn't do the junket for Twister. I did that one.
Did
With
you?
Bill Paxton,
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt.
and Jan de Bont. And then
I
the
really
cow will go
liked-
like this. Then the shot, the cow will go like this.
I really like
Or I
that
can't do
movie.
the
That's
Swede.
so
Whatever
funny.
is he, Swedish
Jan
or
de Bont,
Norwegian?
that's
Jan de Bont. But nothing tops Speed 2 Cruise Control.
So this, I don't normally like remakes, and we can talk movies too if you want, because Patrick's has a long background in film, but and caught on it several times. But the thing about what was I?
I have no
Twister.
idea.
We're
Talking
about
about Twister.
Twister.
We're talking about
Remake.
movies.
Redoing.
Sorry, pick
Yeah.
up. I normally don't like remakes or redos, but now I think with Twister, now called Twisters,
Yeah.
it'll be something people will want to see on a big screen.
Yeah.
And secondly, the CGI that we were talking about a moment ago,
Yeah.
introduced in
With
Sherlock,
young Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
I'm really curious to see how they're going to up the ante this time.
Yeah, is it Glenn? Who's in this one?
It is
this is
Daisy
one-
Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell,
Glenn
Anthony
Powell.
Ramos,
Yeah, that's the one I-
blah, 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 Maura Tierney, and it opens in July. I did watch the trailer last night because I loved the first
Right.
Twister. I thought the effects were phenomenal, and I really enjoyed
I thought the trailer was better than the movie.
Of
Twister,
Twister?
yeah,
I just, there was that one point where it's like, they tried to get the horror movie thing in where it's almost like the tornado sneaks up on them. They're in the dark, and then they put the thing in like, whoa, there's a tornado right outside our window. And you just go like,
I just
oh my
found
God.
the whole
okay, I don't
premise of
think that-
people who drive into tornadoes
It was
instead of
interesting.
away
It was
from them.
interesting.
Yes.
You
And the
couldn't
late
pay me
great
to
Bill
do that.
Paxton, who is probably one of
know,
the
I loved
nicest
him.
people we ever had on our TV show back in the day.
He was
Well, so
terrific
speaking of back
actor.
in the day, once upon a time at a network called America's Talking, I think you instituted this, or someone did there. One of the other producers had something called Go, Rent, or No.
Okay.
So
not
I
that
thought
clever,
we would
so it
take.
wasn't
I
me.
thought we would take this summer's movies, some
Okay.
of which we heard about, and some of
Okay.
it, and you can chime in here too, Patrick. With Go meaning you're going to absolutely see it on a big screen. Rent meaning you're going to wait for it to stream, and No meaning there's no way in hell you're going. And so we've already had a Fall Guy, another Planet of the Apes. We're getting an Alien,
Yes.
Deadpool, and Wolverine. Didn't Wolverine die?
But they also,
They're all the same movie.
Another Inside Out, another Garfield, another Despicable Me 400.
and they have another movie with Martin Lawrence and what was
Yeah,
it?
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life.
Oh,
Yeah.
another movie I'm not even going to see on
Right.
cable.
So what I
M.
want to
Night
ask. so-
Shyamalan has a daughter, and she's made a movie,
And
and
he's
he's
making
made a
a
movie.
I know he's making another one too.
My
Bill,
go.
What is your go?
My go is, and we got a little taste of it, or she mentioned it right before she left,
With-
is Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. This is Kevin Costner directing and starring, back in his Dances with Wolves kind of cowboy hat, director's hat.
Okay.
And it's, what I like about it is, and this will annoy some people, but it's two parts. It's two complete movies, one that comes out June 28th, and then instead of waiting a year like we've had to for Mission Impossible and some of the others, the next one is August 16th.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a serial
So
movie.
it's like an event.
Yeah.
It's something to
All
go
right,
to twice.
cool.
What did happen to the second Mission Impossible, by the way?
I know, it's coming this summer.
Well, I'm going to tell you what my go is, and
What's
mine,
your
of
go?
course, is a little bit outside of the matrix because there actually is really nothing this summer. When you're talking about me putting on clothes, putting on pants, getting in my car, paying money, getting a seat, getting popcorn, it
We're
really,
sweatpants.
We're
Do
lucky to have
sweatpants.
you clothed here?
Yes.
Is that the point you're making?
or unlucky, depending on who you. Thanks a lot, Bill. Yes, but there's very, very few things that I would really, really go to a movie theater for, and the only one is coming out in September 6th, and it is the second Beetlejuice. That I would get in a car and go and see. 100%. That's it.
Oh, see, that's a good example of something I probably could wait to see on streaming.
It's fine.
I'm
Well, that's
gonna
why
wait
you and
see
I.
the reviews.
But this is we're chocolate and vanilla here. That's
Because
why.
I find Tim
yeah.
Burton,
You
he's
just told the
back
last
again.
guest we were exactly alike.
Well, I said we were dark and light, like chocolate and vanilla.
Where Bridget
I'm
and
sorry.
Joy's a minuet, the Belarus, and crepe Suzette. Anyway,
Bill
We'll have a
only
cigar
likes-
and drive everyone out of the car. What a nutty pair.
what were you saying? Oh, yeah. Tim Burton's directing it again. But
Yes.
Yeah, so
But
who
it's
knows?
Michael Keaton.
Who
I mean,
knows?
his
Who
back
knows?
is.
He's made some big stinkers.
He's made some really bad movies.
It's Michael Keaton playing Beetlejuice again. You cannot go wrong with that. Catherine O'Hara's in again. It's going
I
to be
love Catherine.
great.
All right,
It's
here's
a
what I'm waiting
hysterical
for to
movie.
rent. Here's my streaming movie. It's called Thelma. It's a comedy about a 93-year-old woman played by June Squibb. Remember her in
Yeah.
Nebraska?
Yeah, yeah.
The black and white film.
Exactly, and I actually saw that one.
getting revenge on someone who has scammed her, a hacker who has scammed her. So it's ripped from today's headlines, as they would say on Law and Order.
Well, my thing that I will definitely stream and then watch and promptly forget is Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Again, another
That's what you're just
callback.
streaming anyway.
Yeah, that's coming.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
perfect.
opening on July 3rd.
Yeah, but that means in your house.
On the flight, only eastbound.
Right. So
While
if
you
you
have your
want the
fruit
same
cup.
experience, just invite a crying baby over and put Sprite on the floor. And
I didn't mean
pretend-
to interrupt, Bridget.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
No, that's okay. You
No,
just,
that's
okay. I'm
that's
glad
a
to know
perfect
that. But
one
it's
to wait
Eddie
for
Murphy,
screen
Judge
time.
Reinhold. It's the same cast. Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Paul Reiser, Bronson Pinchot playing the little.
Oh, wow.
It's a
Sarge,
cactus scratch.
Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge.
Do you want an espresso?
Yeah,
I got you an
espresso.
espresso.
Oh,
yeah.
that was actually pretty good, Bill.
That was pretty good.
You want to know what I
You
want to
want
see?
the
And
tweet?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
only one. I want
fine.
to see the Aliens movie. I like
What
because the
Aliens?
advance buzz is really good. It's called Alien Romulus.
Yeah, Alien Romulus.
And the event screenings have been good. And by the way, I like the first one, love the first one, love the second one. Third one, I kind of like the fourth one, remember? Jean-Pierre Jeunet did it, and it was...
Prometheus?
It was
no, it was the
Winona
one where
Ryder.
and where she got cloned. Where
Winona
I didn't see that
Ryder.
one.
And they
I didn't see
played
that one.
basketball.
and they played basketball. Anyway.
Anyway, I don't remember that
That's
one.
the junket in France that I proposed to my
your
wife.
It was a double junket,
Really?
wasn't it?
Yeah,
it
was that and Meg Ryan and
Oh,
John Cusack
Anastasia.
and Anastasia.
Oh
and
my
what
God.
was
You
really
proposed
funny,
to
I
Mrs.
proposed
to
Sue?
as Roger Ailes said, only a cheapskate like McCuddy would take his wife on a junket and ask her to marry him. But she
You proposed in Paris.
early in the day in front of the Eiffel Tower, and it was caught on television.
Not
and we
the
played it.
Paris and Queens, the
No.
place on the
But
LIE.
I have to do a little thing to Madeline Kahn then and go, you proposed in Paris? How ordinary.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, the two movies were okay, but they weren't great. And what happened was I got back to the junket rooms in the Bristol, the gorgeous hotel, and nobody wanted to talk about the movies. They were all like, "You're the guy that just got engaged. Tell me about your wife. Tell me about it." And so I put this tape together of all the celebrities asking about Sue.
Oh, she must have loved that. Or
Don't
hated
care
it.
about kinds of, this is, I'm going to say no to, kinds of kindness. That's
Really?
the Emma Stone reunited with Yorgos Lanthimos from
Right,
Poor
Poor
Things,
Things.
which I didn't like.
I didn't like it either.
I haven't seen it.
I
You
just
haven't seen Poor Things?
I just saw
She
it
won
and
the
I was like,
Oscar.
I don't. Whatever.
I didn't really.
This is like a little movie they made on the side while they were making that one, I think.
I'm going to go see
In the
Oppenheimer
closet?
this weekend.
Huh?
I'm seeing Oppenheimer this weekend.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
excited.
yeah,
Thanks,
you're
good.
way
You're right up
behind.
to date.
Okay, buddy.
Gone
Can
with
we
the
talk
Wind.
restaurants real quick? Because I know we're supposed to go because Jody's going like this real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about restaurants.
Yeah, you know what? The old Breadzilla. Pete Ambrose is now running sandwiches out of that place.
You're kidding. I
it's
love
called
Pete's work.
Sofo Sandwich. I hope I got it right.
Sofo sandwiches?
Yeah, South Fork sandwiches. Yeah.
South Fork sandwiches.
Great.
And he has his rubs and his barbecue sauce and all that. I'm sure it's going to be
Pulled chicken.
fabulous.
And by the way, if you ever makes his white bean chili,
Oh, it's amazing.
it is really, really good.
Oh, I'm so glad
Okay,
Pete's
now
going
we're
to be right
talking
there.
to four
Yeah.
people listening. So look,
No, that's fantastic.
let me do this with both of you. Let's go quickly down in the we have 1 minute left. In the new restaurant, Zero Bond, going to be a hit or miss. Zero Bond
Let's
is
see
that.
if they open.
Yeah,
Let's see if they open.
Yeah, well, by now they have, and
Yeah.
will DiCaprio come to that one as well? Like the
Oh,
one he
I'm
does in
going to
the
wait
city?
with bated breath because I want to see.
A French Bistro's going into Rowdy Hall. Will that
Village
be
Bistro,
that'll
yeah.
be a success?
That's Adam Potter's
Yeah,
place,
yeah,
right?
and the people from CC. It's a joint venture, if I
Okay,
remember
great.
correctly.
Sag Harbor Tavern is from the same guy that did Red Hook Tavern. That's
Going to be
very-
a hit. That's going to be a hit. I think
Okay.
this summer.
There was a little thing called Monty in the Manor that opened last year in Montauk, and all the celebrities go there.
Really?
And
Oh.
it's back. And what do we think about
I
that?
didn't go there.
It's in that, isn't it in that one apartment building that was built in
Oh,
the 20s?
the
Fisher
Tudor-looking
building?
building. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Montauk Manor, right?
Right.
Yeah. And what was the other
and
one? you
finally,
had?
in Southampton.
Well, it's not finally. I have some too, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, but
Jesus.
well,
You
I
told me
just
to
want to
take
know whether
notes.
these are hit or miss. Private chef Andrew Mullen, who I haven't heard of, but he has some of the New York housewives, including Luann, the Countess, and also has cooked for Kevin O'Leary and some of the other Shark Tank people, is opening something called Windmill Lane Bakery and Cafe on Memorial Day weekend. That's
Where?
in Southampton.
In Southampton. Okay.
Hit
Well,
or
So it
miss.
already opened, and I haven't been there yet. So no.
So it can't make it without Patrick McLaughlin.
I still like Carissa.
And I have one more, which is Joe Isidori is bringing an Italian restaurant into the space that was Mickey B's Deli.
No. It's
What's
going to be.
going on?
It used
No,
to be
it's
fresh.
next door to that.
Where fresh
Oh,
used
we're
to be.
fresh. Where Wild Rose was.
And Wild Rose.
Oh,
yeah.
Wild Rose
Yeah.
And
Cafe.
it's
Okay.
Arthur and Sons,
Arthur
and I've
and
heard
Sons.
really great stuff about it.
Okay, well
So,
that's going to be
yeah.
a winner. I
It's
think.
supposed to be Carbone at like 80% of the price. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
still
well, that's pretty good.
There is
Still expensive,
That's
but
still, hey, you're saving 20%. Winner, chicken
Yeah.
or chicken parmesan dinner. Anyway,
I like
we're
that.
all going to go to Canoe Place because they're doing something in the kitchen that we can't talk about until next month, but we'll sneak in there.
and I will tell
Okay,
you,
sounds good.
I love his staff at Canoe Place, and they're genuinely friendly, like great people.
It
Like,
really
it's
is a beautiful.
friendly
It
place.
really is a beautiful place.
This is all
I'm not-
unsolicited. Yes, there
Yes,
are.
I'm sorry. It is.
Seriously, yeah. I said to him when he came in, I'm like, I love your staff. They're all friendly and like
Yeah,
super
it's a cool
professional.
place. It's nice that they're bringing that back.
Well, thank
So-
you, Patrick.
Do you want me to
They-
leave now?
You
We
know what?
always want you to leave from the
Yeah.
minute you come
Shouldn't we
on.
get a quick real estate update from
Oh
him?
yeah, let's
Rental
do that.
market, hot,
please,
cold, what's
please,
going on?
Yeah, what's going cold?
Rental market code.
But it's
Really?
been cold for a
Cold.
while, right?
Yeah,
Why?
and I don't know why.
Do you
don't
think that
know
all the
why.
people who usually rent came out and bought places during the pandemic, and
Well,
now
let's see
that's
what
why?
happens in July. I'm serious
Yeah.
because June's sort of over the past few years. June has sort of become less desirable to a lot of people out here. Because
Yeah.
let's be real,
And October
the weather
is more?
September.
So September, October
It's-
is the-
I'm seeing people want to rent July, August, September now
Oh, okay. Well, that's
because June is so iffy out here.
Do you
if
think
you think
it's
about
climate change?
And how would LTV be as a bed and breakfast? If they had
I heard
raise
they
a
use
couple
this.
extra
I heard the
bucks?
police department uses this as a holding tank on the weekends.
They wouldn't have to do much.
and then if they really want to torture them, they make them watch reruns of Weekend Live.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna be back this
Thanks for
weekend
that.
live.
Thanks for that plug.
Yeah, it's
Let's
happening.
play Patrick McLaughlin off on
Yeah,
that.
play
Get
him
out
off.
of here now.
Jim
Get the
Turner, some great real estate music. On a balmy weekend day, this is your oasis of tranquility. Oh, who are we kidding? We're annoying. Get over it. This is AirHamptons with Bridget and Bill.
And we're still here, 18
are still
months
here.
or whatever we've been doing this show
I know.
and the Weekend
I
Live
know.
Hamptons.
All the letter writing you've done to try and get us kicked off, it hasn't worked. We're
hasn't
here.
worked. We're still here. Oh,
Thanks, Jim. Hey, who's coming up next?
I'm just like,
No, I'm talking to you.
I know, but I'm listening to Jim for a second. Jeez Louise. We have Haim Mizrahi. Now, Haim has been, this is amazing, doing his show, Hello, Hello, since 1986?
No, the Hello Hello show since 1998.
1998.
But from
that.
86 to 98, I did the night tapes here.
Night tapes. So
Here at
how,
LTV with Frasier in the very beginning.
Yes.
And all the,
Oh,
yeah.
the very beginning. And you've been
I
doing,
wanted to just mention something about the CPI.
Yeah.
I remember the days of Jim Chapin when he used to play in the patio there and host all the drummers, let all the drummers come and join in Saturday nights.
Oh, it's like a
Jim Turner did? This
drum
Jim?
off?
No, Jim Chapin.
Oh, Jim Chapin.
Yeah,
oh, not
the
you.
legendary.
I played with Jim.
Yeah, I played with Jim. So he,
wow.
I did an underground documentary with him vis-a-vis LTV.
Oh, really?
But anyway, I just
Oh, that's great.
thought I should mention
Well, I
it.
was
Well, it
gonna
looks
say
a
you-
lot nicer these days.
Yeah, I know.
But you have a
What
lot
a coat of
history.
weather
history.
beater will
Then,
do. Right.
You have a lot of history at LTV. How many shows have you taped
I passed
approximately?
5,500.
That's a lot of shows. Can you imagine, Jim? Whatever your name is, Bill.
Not this performance. The part of Jim is played by Bill McCuddy.
Oh my God.
We don't reherse. I don't know if that's at all.
no, I mean-
I welcome it. I never.
No,
rehearse.
every word is so planned out. We make it seem effortlessly. That's everything.
You
is
can
just
ask her. We just did a 1-hour show. We didn't.
Yes, we did.
How'd that go?
It was good. It aired a month ago at this point.
Okay.
So May 1st.
I loved it then.
Thanks for watching.
What's
You're my
happening
biggest
this
fan.
summer for you? How are you spending that summer?
Well, first of all, I have my hands full with 5 kids, raising them and nourishing them, and with my house painting company and my art, and just surviving the changes in the world, the changes in our community, our personal changes, the demeanor, the daily point of references that are kind of changing like crazy, and just the necessity to adapt.
We're going to talk about your artwork in a second, and I know we'll get there.
But
I
I
want to know, with 5 kids in the Hamptons, can you raise them normally?
Oh yeah, by all means.
You think? Good.
Yeah, I know. So
You've got the proof.
Yeah. I mean, when I had my first kid, I said, I bet you if we have 5 kids, it won't be easier. I mean, it won't be more difficult. Because it just, the first kid just gives you a feeling like this is it. You lost your personality, you lost your immediate vicinity, you
freedom.
lost your freedom. And it's devastating, even though you're ready and you're willing and all this. So you cannot imagine any more complications in having that many more kids. It's just because there's nothing else more to lose, so to speak. All your previous life, with everything that you know about yourself, is gone. So, and I immediately realized that I love kids, so the rest was history.
Good.
Once we
It was a
realized
good
that
job
we
for
could
you.
afford them,
I guess what I'm really getting at, though, is in the summer, now we're in the summer, and they see all these city kids coming out, and they, are going to clubs, and they're driving around in Range
my kids are
Rovers.
very
and
young. I have a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, 11-year-old, 14-year-old. So they're very young.
Yeah, wow.
So now it's just in the stage of, they're extremely social. They're engaged in activities that widen their horizon. They learn by example from me being a fully active artist, with shows, with studio, with this and that. So they're welcoming the world. I'm lucky in this way.
I want to ask you, you've now been really at the station since basically it began.
Yeah.
Tell me, you always do a callback on every one of your shows talking about public access and the importance of public access TV, and by, next door to it would be like public radio. Why do you think that that's important to a community to have a public access TV station?
It's just enhancing the given, They speak of democracy, and they say it's a no-brainer. You should take it as a. But many people are tired of just hearing freedom, democracy. It's just too vague yet very clear. They don't know how to digest it.
So what does
public access set the record straight? It provides you with a stage, it provides you with an incentive, it encourages you, and then if you're not paying attention, it reminds you that it's available and it's constant. Under the surface, over the surface, and that availability is magic, so you can see it. So I have to reiterate the importance of that kind of given, because I do a daily show.
Right.
So it's a given. So that given must be verbalized, And I learned from Fraser. Fraser used to repeat himself like obsessively.
Fraser Dougherty.
Fraser Dougherty. Obsessively.
Founded this.
Founded
to a
LTV.
point where I thought something was wrong with him. Until I realized he's just genius.
What would he
Because
repeat?
It's never enough to emphasize, because it's like a living thing. It doesn't stop. It's not like saying, okay, you can become a producer, you can have a show and all this, and people will say, okay, great. No. They hammer the issue over and over again about this availability.
You're listening to AirHamptons with Bridget and Bill, or you're watching it. If you're watching it, we're at a place called LTV. If you're listening on WLIW, thank you for that. But I just want to set one thing straight. I make fun of this place all the time, like it's a big Butler building that they threw up, that 3 people from IKEA threw up in about an hour. It is not that. It's an amazing black box that lets anybody come in, and I'm proof of that,
You
and
sure are.
have a show. And so I just wonder, from your amazing staff and great equipment, and I just wonder from that perspective, what was day one like on LTV? What did this place look like, and what kind of equipment did they have? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was in the old facility in Springs Fireplace Road before we moved in. By the way, this was the head end, the original head end, when we moved in. And I used to have to steal the show live from a box on the wall. And all this. But there...
They still do that.
Yeah, they still do that. There we used to, the editing facility was curtains, partitions, and where you could hear he's doing this music, you're doing your music, you don't know where you are and all this. There was a big hole. There was Fraser was the anchor. He made sense of this completely out of control reality. He made sense of it because he was there every day. And these were the days where you would have the clock. If there was anything wrong with whatever it was aired, they go to the clock.
Right.
So the clock will kick in.
Cut to the clock! Why don't we do that?
Like the music would play, right?
We screw up all the time if we had a clock to
But you know,
It would just be clock. It would be just our show would just be clock. We would change the name to clock.
I mentioned Frances Ann because I can
Frances
only
Ann Hersey.
imagine what she had to go through, because this guy, she was second. She wasn't first in his life, even though she was the love of his life.
Frances Ann was Mrs. Doctor.
Yes,
Frances
and
Ann Hersey.
she donated most of her money to make this place continue the way it was. Incredible support. But I mean, he would be tuned to the screen all the time. There was anything wrong, he'd rush here. There was no question about it. There's no maybe or almost.
The thing also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt time, but the thing about the beginning of LTV as well, because I was around too, was that they were doing experimental theater, and there was so much going on, and I feel like that's kind of coming back with the current administration, with Josh Gladstone and Michael Clark, and there's more shows being done. It feels vibrant again. Do you agree?
Frasier didn't like that at all.
Really?
No, he did not like it.
Because I remember they did like a
'Cause
Raft of the Medusa. Remember the Joe Pintoro play? They did so many
but
things here.
that was experimental. It was underground.
Right.
He thought it was too commercialized and it's just losing its identity.
So what was the perfect Frasier show in the beginning? What did he like? What did he try and encourage people to come in and do?
Anything that's terrible and
Public access.
confusing.
This show is made in his memory.
Well, I think that as a salute, we should do like an Ugly George episode and go out and find some girl who will show us her breasts.
Try and mess
No,
it
we're
up
not
as much as you
doing
can.
You're no fun
Welcome
anymore.
to 2024. Are you
shut
kidding
up.
me?
Okay, I guess we can't do that.
man.
But do you remember things like New
Yes.
York Public Access, like
Of
Channel
course.
23?
Yes.
Robin Bird show?
Bird.
I know. I remember all
And
of
I
that.
forgot about Uncle Dirty, and it would literally go down
Yeah.
the
Uncle
alley.
George.
And
Ugly
then-
George. Ugly George.
Ugly George, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there was also an Uncle Dirty, and you would just.
I don't remember that. That must have been past my bedtime. I'm younger than you.
It was a spin-off.
The spin-off of
Norman
the Ugly
Lear
George.
came in, and they did a
Of the
spin-off.
Ugly George
Yeah, no,
2.
they didn't do that.
Part 2. And anyway, but that was the Ugly George show, public access in New York City, not in East Hampton, was of course like he would just give a girl $100, get her in the back of a truck, and she would flash her boobs. And that
Before I
was the
came
whole
here,
show.
the city of Jerusalem encouraged residents of my neighborhood to wire their houses to start public access because the city was ready to engage. But they said until then you can wire yourselves and have your own kind of underground public access. It was out of
So
this
there
world.
was a TV channel in every
No,
living room?
we were wired,
Loud
and we
family on TV.
were like doing shows from houses, and then aired to the other houses.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was unbelievable.
Well,
Say,
they-
Bill,
they-
Bridget, can I say something really
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Jim
Okay,
Turner piping up.
Fraser Doherty's a dear friend of mine. My band played for his wedding. I did many things with Haim there, with Haim on percussion. Fraser had filmed me performing there. He came to some of my concerts at Guildhall and filmed those things. And I had a dear relationship with Fraser and with Haim. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Likewise,
Thank you
yeah,
for
we-
contributing that. And I told Haim
This
that
heartfelt moment is brought to you by Canoe Place.
that for Fraser's 80th birthday, and of course he was over 100 when he passed,
101, yeah.
last year, or late last year. But for his 80th birthday, Eric and I sent him a pogo stick from New Hampshire. He loved that.
Yeah.
Everybody has a great Fraser story. He was such a character.
Wait, did he have a pogo stick? Or
No,
was
it's funny
he-
because he was 80. Who's going to
Oh,
get
I
on a
see.
pogo stick? Never mind. Yeah, I'm not.
He was the
No
one-
pogo stick for you on your 80th birthday.
You know that he's the one that gave me the first big chance to do my large scale in Studio 3. Before the balcony was open, it wasn't close to the second floor. So I dropped all these huge paintings from there. And he was so supportive, so loving, so understanding, And he didn't come across like he's doing you a favor, It was just like a part of the equation.
We should tell people that now, this summer, and it's been starting through the winter, but they're turning it into an art gallery. They're getting art lighting in the hallways. I just learned today.
And Haim has been kind enough and to be really knocked out by the artwork of Matt Rayner, which is up for another week or so. And we're just so grateful that you're a part of this community and that
Yeah,
long live
26
public
years
access.
with this show. Been doing it.
26
all
years.
summer long, come by if you're anywhere near Wainscott. Put it into your GPS. If it takes you to East Hampton, you're in the wrong town. And see some of the artwork that's on display all summer long here at LTV.
All year long.
Yeah, all year long.
Thank
but
you,
this,
Haim. So
this
grateful
summer
that you
the
could
money's
come
out
on.
here. We want them to
Yes.
come and buy stuff.
Well, listen, before we go away, we wanted to give a shout out to some of the other events that are going on this summer, like July 6th is the Bay Street Gala, August 2nd is the Guildhall Gala, July 9th, Patti LuPone is going to be playing at Bay Street, and July 7th, just before that, Alan Cumming, another huge Broadway star, is going to be at the West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. There's so much going on, and John Mulaney is going to be at the Montauk Lighthouse on August 10th. It is a crazy Hampton summer, and we're going to be here to talk about it.
John Mulaney, very funny, used to write for Saturday Night Live. Was last month premiered on Netflix a sit-down conversation with David Letterman
Yeah, it
where
was
he
great.
talked about he had a drug problem. He has a great line about 12 really famous people who did a
Did
stage
his
and
intervention, right.
and he was like, I really only need 4, and I know the 8 I could have cut out. And he's very, very clever.
he's great.
Had
I've
a
seen
very
him live
public breakup
twice.
with his girlfriend,
His
and
wife,
and then married, or is now with
Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn. They have a child.
Yep.
That's a perfect example of that guy didn't get canceled.
Right.
He put all of the bad news in front,
Yep.
got out ahead of it, and started talking about it. And it talked to really anyone who even thinks they know someone with an addiction problem should watch this, because he talks about what it's no picnic.
Yeah. Well, Baby
I
J is his live show that's on Netflix, where he really talks about what it was like to
Yeah.
go through the whole intervention. It's hilarious.
Hey,
So-
the Bay Street thing is where Richard Kind is the
the auctioneer or whatever, the MC.
And is that going to be out on the dock this year? Or
I
that's
don't
going to be...
know, because it's July 6th.
It's
and that-
almost too much summer.
too much summer. Come on, winter, come back.
Play us out, Jim. Something. You've just kicked off the summer with Bridget and Bill on AirHamptons.
Woo, here we go.
Now, can it please be Labor Day? We hate all this traffic too. Thanks for listening and watching.
Surf's up. Watch out, you don't bump into that cow.
The line from the new Twister.
Right. Like the cow.
The cow went flying by. Hey, we'll see you next month.
The proceeding has been brought to you by Canoe Place Inn and Cottages, fine hospitality in Hampton Bays since 1697. More at canoeplace.com.